Hi guys, it is Draken Einhorn ASMR in the flesh. Today's video is going to be about music and my favourite instrument, the clarinet. So let's start with a story of how I got into clarinet. So when I was in year 5, which would be grade 4 for Americans, I believe, 4th grade, yeah. Our school decided that everyone should learn instruments. I don't know if that had been going on for previous years. For my older brother, I believe he did that when he joined. But we were told that we're going to learn the clarinet collectively as a class. So we started having lessons with this lady. I don't remember her name. We didn't have her for very long. And I was not very happy with those lessons. I was not learning because she would be like, I'll show you this note. She'd play it and she'd, oh yeah, go ahead, go into your own space and play it to practice that note. And as you can imagine, 30 kids being given instruments, they just went off into their own space and just blew the clarinet as hard as they could and made as much noise as possible. So I couldn't hear myself play. So I was not learning at all. So that really got to me. I was not learning. I was really frustrated. I felt like I was the worst player in the class. So then she says, for those people who want to learn more, if it's struggling, come to like lunchtime sessions and I will show you more. I'll teach you even further. And I was like, I really need to do that. I am not going to let this beat me. I really want to learn how to do this better because I did enjoy it. So I went along to these lessons and I was a little bit nervous at first because I didn't know what to expect of these lessons, and there were only like 6 of us in this class and during lunchtime. And I was like, I'm sacrificing my lunchtime for this, and obviously as a kid that's a big thing. So I was like, hopefully this is going to be useful and it's going to help me become a better clarinet player. And so she would again repeat the same process she'd do in her normal class, like, here's a note, then she'd go individually round and ask us to play the same thing. And that definitely helped more, just because then we could hear ourselves playing and then the teacher could also individually hear us and give us feedback instantly on how to play better. And I was really enjoying that, because then in class, even though that was still disastrous, I could then at least remember stuff that she taught us and I could play it. And unfortunately, or in a way fortunately, she did not stay with us for some reason. I do not remember the reason that she didn't stay, but we got a different teacher, Jason, and he was fantastic. We had him for the next year and 3/4 teaching us, and I love Jason. He is the best teacher that I've ever had for music, and we learned so much because of him. So much, and I loved him so much that when paid lessons came around, and we got given the letter asking our parents, like, if your child wants to enroll in lessons with Jason, attach the check or whatever to this letter and give it back to your child to get back to school. And I was like to my mum and dad, I really want to do this because I love clarinet so much. And my parents were like, yeah, go for it. So I never had anything like that before. I'd never been given money to have lessons for clarinet or any other instrument. So I was like, oh my god, my parents are letting me do this. This is so cool. Because at the time I was having horse riding lessons. So I was like, I started clarinet and horse riding about the same time actually. So I was like expecting my parents to be like, no, you're already doing horse riding, we don't want to pay for both, because that's a lot of money. But fortunately my parents, they did pay for it. So I thought it was Tuesday, for about an hour, we would play. our small little group of the good players. I say good players, it's just because we were the ones that really cared about playing, and so we were the ones that would pay for lessons. And I think Jason was even so kind for the, say, people that were less fortunate, that he would give like reduced price on that if they really wanted to play but they couldn't afford the full price. I think it was something like £50 for the entire term, which is not too much, but obviously for some families it is. That's quite a lot of money. But thinking about it now, the amount of lessons we had for like that amount of money, it's a fantastic price at that age to really get you going. And so in those lessons we would have like these awesome games, like we would turn away, Jason would play a note and we'd have to tell him what note. So it's like training our ears to recognise different notes. And I don't have perfect pitch or anything, but I was quite good at that game, and I seemed to do better than most of my friends in that. I say friends, I wasn't really friends with any of them except like one person. She was more like a rival kind of thing, like we had friendly competition sort of thing going on. Her name is Ella. She switched to saxophone. It's fine. More clarinet for me. No, so yeah, we'd have games like that, and he'd teach us extra pieces, help us work on the ones we were already doing in class, and it was so much fun. I loved it. And so I kept doing those lessons, and I remember towards the end of year 6, so I'd been playing clarinet for like a year and a half at this point, we had this new kid join, and he had never played the clarinet before, and I just remember thinking, oh no, this poor kid, like he's coming into these classes and he is going to be so bored because they're not going to go over like the basics again just to teach him unless he enrolls in like lessons. And he, oh, poor soul, he didn't know how to play it at all. So I remember the day he came to our first music lesson, I decided to try and help him out as best I could, just because I don't know, I just felt responsible for it, just because if I'm supposed to be one of the star pupils, you know, I should be helping out other people as much as I can. So we're just at the back of the room, and I was just showing him how to put the clarinet together, how reeds work. And if you'd like to see a video of me like putting the clarinet together, like how tips and tricks with that, and talking about reeds, this is the reed for those that don't know, it's this piece of bamboo that you put your mouth on to play the note, so we like that, your mouth will go around it like that. So this kid, you know, considering that he'd never touched it, he did put effort in, I will give him that. And then obviously being given sheet music, he's never read sheet music before, so to him this is like, what? Very confusing. So in like 10 minutes I've got to try and teach this kid how to put together a clarinet, how to read the sheet music that we're singing, and obviously I didn't manage to teach him every single note that was on there, but I managed to show him at least a few of the notes just so that he could play some of it, because otherwise he would literally just be standing there not squeaking away, and that was just really annoyed me and everybody else. Because I'm not going to lie, there were a few kids that were still really bad at clarinet by the end of it, and it's just probably not their instrument, you know, it's just not their thing. And that's fair enough. And I loved being used in demonstrations, like when the teacher would be like, hey, my lesson kids, can you come up to the front and demonstrate this for me please, just so that everyone else can see it. And I like that, because like we're special, you know, good on us that we're the ones that are taking it so seriously. And I love this lesson so much. But no, then when year 7 rolled around, a lot of personal stuff happened to me. Like on my second day of secondary school, we had to move suddenly, which was devastating because I loved where we lived. It was the most beautiful place, and it had like stables and everything. I didn't have horses, I've never owned a horse, but we were very close to stables, like other people that did own horses, so it's like very horsey, and I am a horse person, because I've got my horse shirt on today as well and everything. And so I was very upset having to move, and I remember this, I went to the same secondary school for a while, and I tried out for the band they had at school, and I just didn't like it. It was quite advanced, which was nice, but I will admit I was struggling to keep up with what they were playing at times, and I was just getting really frustrated. Like, I hadn't been taught a lot of the music that we've been playing, and I just generally, I wasn't good enough for it, and there's no shame in that. What I should have done back then is I should have spoken to my music teacher and been like, I really want to be able to play in this group, but I'm struggling. Can you point me to someone who does lessons, or could you help me out at all? But I didn't. I just suffered with it, and I was like, fine, I'm not going to go to this group anymore because I'm not enjoying it, and I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. It looks really bad on me. And I stopped. That's when I got my second clarinet. Oh yeah, because I should mention, my dad bought me my first clarinet when I was in year 5, a few months after we started playing it, just because he saw how much I'd loved it. And I had played recorder in like year 3 and year 2 and stuff, so it's not like I was brand new to wind instruments. So I got the embouchure, which is embouchure is when how your mouth goes around the mouthpiece and how the muscles in your jaw, how you use them, so you have to strengthen those up. So I had some sort of muscle memory from playing the recorder, which is similar but still not the same. And so clarinet came to me quite easily after those lessons. So yeah, then when my dad saw how much I was enjoying it and how much I wanted to practice at home, because we weren't allowed to take clarinets at school home, he decided to buy me one of my own, and it was just an unbranded one he got off probably eBay or Amazon, I don't remember, because at the time I was like 10. I didn't care, as long as the fact it was mine, I was very grateful for it. And so in year 7, I sort of stopped playing it seriously, like at school, but I would still like occasionally play at home. And I don't know if this is like a last-ditch attempt from my dad trying to keep me to play, but he decided to buy me another clarinet, and this was a Selma clarinet, so it's my first branded clarinet, and Selma is a French company, I believe, but still made of plastic, because all lower range clarinets are actually made of plastic, including this one, I believe. This one does not look like it's made of plastic because it's textured. This is still plastic. Real wooden ones, I believe, start around £500. They're quite expensive for real wooden ones. They do sound better. They're not necessary for the level I was playing at as a young teenager. Giving them a very expensive clarinet is probably not the best idea. But so I got this new clarinet, and I was like, wow, this is a lot better than what I had. And so some of the things that I thought was just me being a bad player, it was because the first clarinet I had wasn't the best quality, and that's fine. And that did sort of help spark up my interest in clarinet, and my dad printed me out like loads of sheet music. Like, he gave me an entire folder of it. So that really helped me stay interested in it. But again, the pieces that he printed, I couldn't play, and that just really frustrated me. So I'd have to stick to like the easier pieces. And it's the problem I was having. I couldn't break into the upper register. So with the clarinet, there's the lower register, which when you learn to play. So it'd be like. I have to play it really quietly just because it's really late at night. So yeah, playing those lower notes like E, D and C. But when you play the first note in the high register, which is a B, I couldn't play it, and that really got to me. I literally couldn't do it at all. And then there's C as well, and then D, E, F, or F sharp. And I couldn't play those notes, and loads of pieces you need to be able to play in the upper register. You can't bring it down an octave. So I just gave up. Again, I just said, nope, can't play it. There's no point in me trying because I don't know how to do it. I literally tried so many times to be able to play these higher notes, and I had been shown how to play them. It's not like I didn't know. I physically could not do it. And so I tried different reeds. I tried everything to try and get those notes, and I just couldn't get them. And I'll speak about reeds in just a minute because they're important as well, but So yeah, this clarinet was better than what I had, but it was quite beaten up. Like it was plastic and had gouges all in it, and it'd been used, but the sound tone on it was so much nicer. And I remember my dad got it quite cheaply because it needed all of the pads replacing. And so I'll show you what pads are. They are the felt material that goes on these keys here. So when you press like a button like that, it will lower these onto the holes to make a different sound. And so all these pads are all like really sticky, so they make a noise. I have actually got a sticky pad at the moment. If you can hear that, it makes like a noise, and we shouldn't make that sticky noise. So my dad knew how to replace them, so fortunately, to save on money, he bought replacement pads and did it himself, because my dad's really good at repairing stuff and fixing it, pretty much any instrument you throw at him. So that really helped me get like a good clarinet much cheaper. And so I played on that clarinet for a while, just at home again. But instead of having the sheet music, what I started to do more and more, I started just playing songs I liked, which is the My Chemical Romance stuff and all the emo. Always been an emo person since, again, the age of like 9 years old. And I would just try my best to play along by ear, which is easier than I thought. Obviously, that still didn't solve my problem of not being able to play the higher register, but at least I was like playing more stuff that I enjoyed. So that really helped me continue to practice, because obviously practice is key. You're not going to get away with not practicing with any instrument. Yes, there are some people that are wildly gifted and it just comes to them, but even they will reach like a point where they can't advance anymore without doing some serious practice. So this goes on for quite a few years actually, where I'm just half playing, just nothing serious. And so when I was in my first year of university, because technically this is my second year, I'm doing foundation year creative writing at the moment, for those who don't know. But I was at a different university last year doing animation, and I really did not like it. But at the place I was living, I didn't have any of my stuff with me. It's all been put into storage. And so I was very upset, because obviously I'm missing all my things. And then I got thinking, oh, isn't it really sad that I let my clarinets go to storage? Because obviously I had 2 clarinets. And that really got to me. So then in comes this clarinet, which is, I bought this completely myself. It is the Buffet B12, which is the student range. It is, Buffet again is French, very nice company that makes super good instruments. They do clarinets and oboes and saxophones as well, I believe. Maybe some bassoons as well, I'm not sure. But their instruments are fantastic. I'm in love. Getting a Buffet clarinet was always a dream of mine, and I don't remember why specifically Buffet got my attention. I think I probably saw videos as a kid, and then they'd say, oh yeah, it's a Buffet clarinet, and I'd be like, yeah, it's fancy, I like it. And so I just had to get one, because I mean, look at it, it's gorgeous. I paid £160 for this used on eBay. I don't know how much they are new, because the B12 is discontinued. I believe the equivalent would be the Buffet Protégé. I'm not sure, but the Protégé is the cheapest of, like, it's like in the student range as well, and that's like 400 new, I want to say. But you see, this was 160 used, and you can try and get one for like £130 to £140, but this one was the best condition one that I could find, and it came with loads of extra stuff, and so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this one. The only thing that is not Buffet, I believe, is the mouthpiece, because normally with Buffet it would come with Buffet written like on the mouthpiece, on this black bit there. because every picture I've ever seen of a buffet, it has their logo, like what they have on every other part of the instrument, because they're a proud brand. They would put their brand on everything, right? And yet this mouthpiece and the ligature didn't have buffet on it. This is a new ligature, which does say buffet on it. I bought an official buffet ligature, because my last one, the screw actually completely broke. Like, it fell over, which is completely my fault. I cried. It's completely my fault, because I was playing it, I set it down, came back, accidentally knocked it over, and it completely broken the screw. So that had taken the impact of the fall, so it's lucky like nothing else was broken or scratched at all, so I was very pleased with that. But the ligature broke. I was like, okay, I can just get like a replacement screw or something. So I go online to try and find a replacement screw for a ligature, and it's like £5, £6, £7, and I'm like, for a screw. I know that it's specific for a clarinet, so of course it's a specialist item, it's going to cost money, but I'm not paying that just for a screw. So I was like, why don't I just replace the entire ligature, because this one looks a bit it's not the best, it's not buffet as well, I have no idea what it is. And I was like, I could find a branded one for £15, so I was like, fuck it, just get the official branded one. And it's very nice and shiny, it's very nice, so that I'm very happy with that. But no, I really am so glad that I bought this. I remember the first day I got it, because it had taken a really long time in the mail to come, and I messaged the lady on eBay. I was like, hey, where is it? It's been like over a week, and it's like first class postage. So I'm like, has it been lost? Like, what's going? Do you know anything that's been going on? And I was like, oh shit, maybe have I been scammed or some shit? Like, I know eBay has protection stuff, but still, you don't want to lose out on that kind of money. And she's like, oh no, I'm so sorry, I only posted it like yesterday because I've been moving. And I'm like, that is completely fine, I move all the time, I completely understand. So I didn't pressure the lady, and then literally it came the next day, and it's so beautiful. And for some reason, so this is a B flat clarinet. The standard clarinet you will find is most likely a B flat. And yet, in the clarinet case were unopened E flat reeds, and I've actually got them here. But they are so tiny. So I'll show you a regular reed compared to an E flat reed. So this is the regular reed. This is a Van Doren 3. So the 3 refers to the strength of reed it is, and Van Doren is the brand. Van Doren, they're famous for their reeds, they are the best. I've grown up using them, so I do tend to stick to them. And this is also Van Doren. It's an E flat reed. Look at the difference. Let me try and level those up. They're so tiny. And they were unopened when I got them, but I'm an idiot, and I didn't see E flat written on them, so I could also, why would I assume this clarinet would come with E flat reeds, being a B flat clarinet? So I opened them and I was like, those do not look like regular reeds, what have I done? And then I was like, they're E flat ones. And I, just for a laugh, I did try it out, and it does not work. But no, the journey I've had with reeds. Okay, let's talk about reeds. So when I started playing, we were probably, I think most beginners would start on like 1s, 1.5, and that refers to the thickness of the reed. So the thicker the reed, the more air and pressure from your bottom lip you're going to need to make it vibrate and get a sound out of it. So as a beginner, you don't have the right muscles yet, or the breath. It takes a lot of air sometimes when you're trying out a new strength of reed. So we started on very easy reeds. So you might be wondering, why doesn't everyone stay on the really easy reeds then? Well, with the thinner reeds, when you start getting to the higher notes and sometimes the lower ones, it does not vibrate at all. It just doesn't work. So you need to go up a strength, and it becomes so easy for you once you've trained that you just need thicker reeds, because then you can, it just sounds better. You can get more variation out of it, more, and you can blow like harder and softer and get the gradation between the soft playing and the louder. And in my case right now, I've got 3.5s, and I forgot when I got those, actually. When did I buy 3.5s? Because my clarinet didn't come with 3.5s, I don't think. Or did it? No, I probably bought... I remember. I bought them at a local music shop, because you can get like a pack of 10 reeds, and that was like £25. And I'm like, I don't need 10 reeds, because my dad once bought me a 10 box of 2 reeds back in the day when I was like learning to play and stuff. And I say learning to play, everyone's still learning to play in a way, but you know what I mean, still learning the basics, getting comfortable. And I did not get through that box. I made my reeds last me, like one reed lasted me a year, others don't last as long. It depends how you play it, how often, and if you treat them right. But so I was like, £25, that's a lot of money for reeds, and I don't even know if 3.5s are like the right strength. So I believe I got 2 3.5s at a music shop with the last bit of money that I had, and it came to like £5 or something. So it's still expensive to buy individually, but I don't need a 10-pack. I just don't need it. And the guy in the shop, I have to say, this was in my local music shop, and he was actually really nice about it, because they said that their card machine can't do it to £10 or something, and he's like, oh, it's fine, I'll just do it anyway, because you're nice and stuff. I'm like, oh, thanks. I do try and be nice. I may seem bitchy online and very confident and be like, it's my way. In person, I'm not shy by any means. I'm still very outgoing and very opinionated, but I'm not rude to retail people, because they're very, very rarely rude to me, and they're providing a service. They're humans too, so I'm like, I just see you as another person, a friend, just like I speak to customer service people just how I would speak to anyone else in the street. It's the same thing to me. I don't see them as like an entity with bounds of power that I need to conflict. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Keep it to clarinets. And so in this music store, they had I've never actually been to a music store where they have clarinets, and so in this store they did. I was like, this is cool, and it reminded me, you should play clarinet again. And they did have a B12, actually, the same clarinet as this, in very similar condition, I'm assuming. I didn't really look at that one too well, and I was like, ooh, buffet, B12 as well, I'll look at it. And it was like £200, I think, which is not terrible, but it was still way above market value, say on Facebook and eBay. So I was like, I really want to support this music store, I really do, because I like it a lot. But I only had like £170 to spend on a clarinet, and I was like, I could try and talk them down, but not that much. I feel really bad doing that. So I decided to go online anyway, so it's fine. But it's great they sold individual reeds, because recently, part of this university that I'm at now, I was supposed to do a showcase like 2 days ago. Not 2 days ago, yesterday. My showcase was supposed to be yesterday, but because of the virus outbreak, unfortunately that had to be cancelled. Obviously I was devastated. I was practicing my butt off for that, and I can proudly say I have practiced so much that now I think I am at the highest level of playing that I've ever been, and that is fantastic for me. It's still not brilliant by any means. I cannot play any piece that's put in front of me, and that is fine. But I have pushed myself so hard, and I've gotten through it, and I'm quite proud of myself, because I don't have a teacher, and sometimes I do lack motivation without some sort of pressure from a teacher or an expectation of something. But because I had a showcase, I was like, you really need to practice and get this right, because hopefully I have the sheet music right on me, but if I don't, it's fine. Yes I do. Just over here. Oh dear, try not to let that make such a noise. The pieces that we were playing, that's not the star, playing this piece, Cheek to Cheek, which I know the Ella Fitzgerald version of this song. So I did know this piece before we were learning it, and this is part of jazz, the Jazz Society, that I'm part of at university. And one word that can get every clarinet player really annoyed: the trumpet part. I cannot stand it when I get given trumpet parts. I get it, trumpet is in B flat as well, so they can just interchangeably give us the same music. It is never in the right octave for us. It's always ridiculously high. So every time I get given trumpet music, I always transpose it down, just because most of the time it's going to be way too high anyway. But no, that's not the piece that I wanted to show you. I should have the other piece here somewhere, and if I don't, that means I've lost it, which is not good. No, I do not seem to have it. But anyway, the other piece that we were playing is Moonlight Serenade. Is it this? Miss Carl, maybe? This is this piece called Freddie Freeloader, which we did perform at our last show. Here we go. Now this is the next piece, Moonlight Serenade, and this is with all of my inscriptions and stuff on it, all my writing. And so what I've done, and I've written every part like to lower this piece, because if you look here, that is ridiculously high, and the reason I've written this underneath is because with clarinet we have different fingering for the upper register. It's not like with saxophone where they have just the octave key and then they just have to memorize one fingering for it and then just press a key when they want to go higher. We don't have that, we have fingerings, and because I have not learned most of the higher notes like that, just because I can't physically play them sometimes, and two, there's no need, because most pieces aren't that high, so my brain does not compute, oh that's an E, so I was like, you're learning this anyway, just like write out underneath instead, just make your life easier. Because like I said, to be fair, I'm not the best with sheet music. I'm usually listening and I can tell what's going on anyway. So yeah, I wrote for the sections like which parts to lower, but it's like this section I said do not lower. This is the ending, and the reason I cannot lower it is because if I did this, the triplets going like that, it means I would play a really awkward fingering for it if I did. So without the change in fingering, let me have a look at it. It is D E F, D E F, G A B, G A B C in the higher register. If I were to put that in the lower octave, it would be D E F, which is fine, D E F, and it would be G A, and then you have to put all your fingers down again and do that to play a B. So that's a C, that's B. And then G A B, so it'd be G, nothing, because it's a G, then A, and then B. Just doing that, did not want to do it. But it's because that last note is a D, the high D, and that's again in the upper register when the fingering changes to whatever the fuck you want to call this bullshit. I don't know, that this feels very unnatural to me, because with everything you always have this one like up here, but with the D it's not like that. You miss this one and you still have the thumb and the So I can hear people shouting outside. It's very distracting. Someone's having a birthday party over there. So happy birthday to that person. Please be quiet. It's quite late at night. It's fine. So yeah, the fingering's weird for that anyway, but it's fine. So yeah, I couldn't lower that last part, and the piece, I have to admit, was really getting to me. I was probably overcomplicating it so much. And so I spoke to the band lead, and I was like, I'm so sorry, but this piece is killing me. It's a clarinet solo piece. I'm the only one doing solos for this piece. They didn't do it on purpose to like make my life more difficult. It's just the piece has a solo, so you can see like all of that is solo, all of that. So, and it's like a scale, so it's just going blah. But when I listen to the recording of it, it is so fast. It's literally like blah, and it's like. So I said to my band leader, hey, I'm really struggling with this piece. The fingering is getting to me a bit, because let's be real, I am not the best clarinet player, and I am very fine admitting that I am not the best in class at all. Actually, saying that I'm the only clarinet player in class in jazz, but in other societies and stuff, there's other clarinet players in different groups, and they are much better than me, which is fine. I am learning. So, and she's like, okay, if you're really struggling with the solo bit, because the other parts of it are fine, like the introduction, fine. It's literally the solos that are getting to me. So she's like, either don't stress yourself out too much about it. Look at what the trumpets are doing, and if you like what they're playing more, then play theirs. So I looked at the trumpet part, and yeah, it's really easy. It was just 2 notes instead of the entire scale stuff, and I was like, maybe I should do that. And I was just practicing and stuff, but then the showcase got cancelled anyway, so it is fine. I don't mind, because we're going to perform it next year probably anyway. The only sad thing is, for the third year students which are now leaving university, this was going to be their last showcase ever, and it got cancelled, so they won't unfortunately be able to do the showcase ever again. They're finished. So for musicians it's very stressful, because they've been practicing so hard for this. But in a way, if I'm being 100% honest, I did not feel like our band was sounding very good. We had fewer players than we had last semester. It wasn't sounding right. I was not happy with it. It was still decent, don't get me wrong. We were still very proficient players, but I don't know, something was missing. I don't know if we just needed more players to round out the sound, because we've got like 4 saxophones behind me, 3 trumpets, we've got 1 clarinet, so I get drowned out, basically. You can never hear me, which is fine. We've got drums, who is my drum teacher, by the way. And we've got guitarist, another guitarist, sometimes bassist, and I'm forgetting someone. Sometimes we have a tuba player. Sometimes. And he's cool. But no, the group is fantastic. I love it so much. And they're actually looking for leaders for it next year. And I've spoken to a few people, and they're like, oh, no, I don't want to be leader of the group. I don't have the time or something. Or I'm not confident enough to do that. And I'm like, I'll do it. If we get to decide the pieces, I would love to be in charge of this. And my drum teacher is also part of this, and he would like to be a leader as well, to be deputy. So I'm thinking, if he's deputy and I'm deputy, and if no one elects like the official leader, 2 deputies together could do the same job as like the leader. So that'd be so good if I was working with my drum teacher, just because we do get on really well. And I mentioned him in my last video, in the asexual talk one, because there's some history between him and I. You can watch that video if you want to find out more details. It is a little bit personal. That video was actually, it wasn't difficult to make, it was more difficult to publish because I have no problem talking about it, about personal stuff like that, being asexual. I know it's not completely relevant to the clarinet, hold on with me, but it has affected so much of my life, and I thought it was worth mentioning. But no, that was my drum teacher. He's a cool dude. We still get on very well. I still have lessons with him every week, and he does appreciate the clarinet. So that's always good. But no, one of my friends, Pamela, if she is watching, I don't think she is, but my good friend Pamela from class, she plays the saxophone, and she said that she would bring in her saxophones and actually give me one as well, so I can also learn saxophone. So I think that would be fantastic if I could learn the saxophone as well, because I've always wanted to. And the B flat equivalent of the clarinet, I think is it the baritone? Because it's not the alto sax. I think it's the baritone. It's B flat, and they're fucking huge, man. So yeah, because the instruments that also B flat are trumpet and the baritone sax, I think. But no, the clarinet comes in A, E flat, B flat. Then you got bass clarinet, and you got the piccolo clarinet, and you've got the subcontrabass weird thing which doesn't look like a clarinet. It's weird, like the subcontrabass flute. It's like tubing. All those huge instruments are really fascinating to look at, but impractical. Oh, other instrument. Oh yeah. So yeah, I've already mentioned drums. I forgot to mention I am a drummer as well, because of my drum teacher. Because I met him through jazz, and I was like, hey, your drumming is really cool. He's like, do you want to learn? Hell yeah. So since the September, and it is now March, I've been having almost weekly drum lessons with I say that we've skipped a few months just over Christmas and stuff, because he wasn't here. Or was he here? No, he went home for Christmas. Anyway, so yeah, I've had quite a few lessons with him, and drumming is definitely something I love. It is a fantastic instrument for me, just because I have a lot of anger. I'm very energetic as well, and so being able to, obviously I don't go crazy necessarily on the drums, I don't go hitting it as hard as I can, but just being able to physically move in a constructive way is extremely satisfying. And drumming, I feel so happy when I'm drumming. The flow of energy through the limbs and just listening to the rhythm and stuff. Oh, yeah, it's just brilliant. I've actually got on my windowsill, got some drumsticks. I am so sad because my favourite pair of black sticks, there was a tear in my bag, and I didn't know, but as I was walking along, the other black one fell out. So I was very upset. I know these ones are cheap, they're only like £3 for the pair, but still my favourite black pair lost one. But it's a good thing in a way that I didn't lose my light up ones, because these fuckers are expensive as hell. These were like over £20, and if I'd lost those, there would have been blood. I would have gone mental. Yeah, they're both blue. Oh, they're just so cool. They're like lightsabers. Not that I'm a Star Wars fan, really. I do have a Star Wars shirt, but yeah. So when you play, they change colour as well, and they just look so cool. And these are the sticks that my teacher gave me. And these are nice. These are quite big ones, quite thick. And I do not know this brand, unfortunately. I should probably do some research. But no, these are pretty cool. I like using them. They've got a nice weight to them, so it sort of trains you up a little bit. And I've got my other set, which are in my bag at the moment, because I carry a set with me wherever I go, because you never know when you're going to drum. Case in point, when I went to a Christian dinner thing at one of the churches around here, they had a drum kit, and I was like, I have my drumsticks on me, this is my time. I go over to the drum kit, and this is like after dinner, everyone's talking and everything. This is a huge church as well, and I literally just start, not only go crazy on it, but I started just drumming like quite fast, and everyone went, what? This doesn't sound like Christian music. Kick her out. No, they didn't. For those who don't know, I do not listen to Christian music. I'm very heavily emo. I listen to all of the stuff like Panic at the Disco, My Chemical Romance, 21 Pilots, Bring Me the Horizons, you know, got my Chemical Romance bracelets on and stuff, you know. Yeah, I'm a big ol' emo. So, yeah, my music taste is not, unfortunately, it does not overlap with many people that are Christian in the societies I'm part of. Except one person, actually. The first time I went to what's called Christian Union, part of my university, there was this one girl, Becky, and I don't know her very well, but she literally, at the time, I didn't know her at all. She came up to me and was like, oh, I was wearing my MCR shirt, and she just came and was like, oh my god, I love your shirt, you know, I'm a huge fan of My Chemical Romance. I'm like, oh, that is awesome, like, we're gonna be friends. Turns out we are not friends. No, I'm joking, we're fine. There's just, I don't know, something, I don't think she likes me, and it's probably because I'm not the most Christian person out there. I go to all the Christian events. I am not Christian, really, from the sounds of it. Put my drumsticks away. But no, sorry, I've just gone off on a tangent. Back to the clarinet and music. So, with the clarinet, I would love to play in an orchestra. I love classical music. I saw Vivaldi's Four Seasons performed when I was younger, because my school gave away free tickets to go and see this performance. And out of the entire class, only 2 students went to it, and that was me and one of my friends, because I said to her, let's go, this sounds amazing. And it was fucking awesome. Like, they could play their instruments like nobody's business, and I just remember being with my friend. I said, oh my god, look at her, she can, like, there's the guy playing the clarinet on stage. I was like, look at him, he can play. And that just really quite inspired me, because I was like, wow, that could be me someday. So yeah, I would love to be on stage playing something classical. I'm a huge classical fan. Also, I love opera and some musicals as well, like Phantom of the Opera. Oh my god, I am in love with it so much. I found this person on YouTube. I think he might be Korean. I apologise if that is wrong, but he plays all of the Phantom of the Opera on the clarinet with a piano accompaniment, and it actually brings me to tears how beautiful it is. And when he plays like All I Ask of You, if you know that song, and he just he does it without overplaying it and doing all these trills and shit. He keeps it quite original, and that's what I usually prefer. I don't like all the excess, like, soloing and all that. That's not my style. I like to keep it true to what it is, and it just sounded so pretty, because I don't really have a voice on me. I am not a singer, so it's like I like all these songs that are, you know, vocals, and it's like I can't sing it. So instruments are like a way of me channeling not being able to sing in a way. Of course, I still love playing the instrument because it's a challenge, but it does feel like it's like I'm singing along with it, if that makes sense. It's not singing, of course, but you get what I'm saying. It's fine. So yeah, I would love to get the sheet. I did actually buy the sheet music for it. Yeah, again, it's in storage, because like my entire life is in storage. I got to keep very few things, and one of those, you can see my saddles. There's one there and there's one right behind here which you can't see. I put my clarinet in that box of my saddles, and my brother kept it, and that's literally the only box I got to keep out of all the stuff that's got put in storage. And thank God I put that clarinet in there, because otherwise I'd have no instrument, and I would not be able to afford to buy one for university. So thank God I did that. The only sacrifice by putting clarinets and saddles in that box, I don't have my riding gear with me, like my boots, my helmet, but I do have my body protector and saddles, so it's like I have, and bridles, there's loads of stuff in there, so I've managed to keep some things at least, which has made me happy. All the rest of what you see, that is completely new. I bought it when I came to university. Yeah, well, this video is already 48 minutes long. That is, I know I can ramble, but damn. I personally love ramble videos. Not many people seem to enjoy them that much compared to some of the other stuff I've made, and that's completely fine. As long as I have like at least one person enjoying it, that is completely a-okay with me. But no, I want to make some tutorial videos, like how to set up a clarinet. I don't know if that's necessary just because there seem to be quite a few of those around, but if you would like an ASMR version of how to put together a clarinet and that sort of thing, notes, any troubleshooting, I can try and make a video like that. I don't know how filming that is going to be. I am actually being taught how to use the cameras at university. Quick story. To use equipment at the university, you can borrow a lot of filming equipment and audio stuff, but you need training first before you're allowed to borrow it, just so people aren't like, sorry, my tooth really hurts. I've got a problem with that tooth. You need to have training, and it's completely free. You don't have to pay for the training, and you can borrow the items free as well, unless you are late, then you have to pay late charges. And if I get the training for this camera, it's the Canon 5D Mark, I want to say 3. I'm probably wrong, it's probably the Mark II. But if I got my hands on that camera and I had that for filming and get an external microphone and tripod, the film quality is about to go from like this level to like, oh baby. And I am very excited if I would be able to get that standard quality of video, because I am painfully aware how bad this camera quality and microphone quality is on this laptop. My phone does better quality because it has the binaural going on, but my phone's actually currently on charge. That's why I'm not using it. Otherwise I would have used my phone for this. But then again, sometimes I do prefer like the lower, not so much the going side to side stuff, the binaural. I prefer the lower quality, feeling like it's 2008 kind of vibe. And this will still do. This is still decent enough quality for me to publish. But I want to step it up a bit, you know, like a decent camera is great, and it you know, not even the camera, because to be fair, I don't watch ASMR, I only listen to it while I'm working or trying to go to sleep. I don't usually fall asleep to ASMR though, I will give you that, and I don't usually get tingles. So it would just be nice to have experience with these cameras anyway, just because I like filming. I actually have a foundation degree in photography, for those who don't know. I don't use it for anything, for like a job. I don't use it. So it's like a waste, but it's fine. But no, I would like to be able to just... high quality video and audio would be fantastic. I think most people would appreciate it. So hopefully the next video I make will be using that. I also miss my software very dearly. I used to have the entire Adobe suite, and holy shit, it was good to use, because you have you've got like Audition, which is the audio editing software. You've got Premiere to edit the video, and it just looks so good using that software. I know how to use it. I've used it for ages, and because I don't have my own laptop or my own computer or anything, this is a borrowed laptop from the uni, the quality, I can't edit videos. If I film them on my phone, I don't have any software to edit them properly, because I downloaded Premiere on my phone, and you can't have two sources of media in the same video, and I'm like, what? So if I make a video, I need to stop it for some reason, then come back to it. I cannot make that same video, and that frustrates the fuck out of me, probably just because I don't know how to use it on my phone. I'm sure there is a way, but I just need it on the computer. I'm saving up when I get a job again, because I actually had to quit my job at McDonald's. Fucking hell, yay. I need to save it for a laptop or a computer. I really do. And oh god, I've asked the university if they can help me out, just because I actually have DSA, which is Disabled Students Allowance thing, which is being processed at the moment, just because I've had multiple foot surgeries. I need to make another video about that. God, I know I have so much going on all the time. So walking to go borrow this laptop and return it every day, it's not good for me. So I'm hoping that they can let me borrow a laptop, just at least over the summer while there's no classes and nobody's about, because they're not going to need the laptop anyway. So I'm just like, look, let me borrow one, please, because that would be so much handier for everybody else. And for my videos, that means I'll be able to make more consistent stuff. I'll be happy with the quality of them, you'll be happy with the quality of them. So it's like, hopefully not. And if they don't do that, I'm still going to make videos. Nothing is going to stop me with that. Nothing, hopefully, will ever stop me making these videos. But it's like, I will do gameplay stuff again, and that's my most popular. That was my most popular stuff. But at least I wouldn't say if I ever did get popular, which is not a huge problem if I don't. Then at least I can say this is where I started, this is the quality video I used to produce, and now we're here, now we're doing better quality stuff. Because that's what I mean. I think everyone should be trying to advance as much as they can, unless they're very happy with where they are. If you're happy with where you are, don't change it. You know, if what you're doing is working for you, you don't need to change it. Like, you don't need the 3DOs and all the expensive equipment to enjoy ASMR. And I wish I could say the same for instruments. Back to the clarinet. After 10 minutes of rambling about other stuff, I got to play my housemate's clarinet yesterday, and her clarinet is a very nice one. It is a custom clarinet from an independent company, which unfortunately I've forgotten the name of, but it's an independent one in England, and it was like £900. It's a very expensive clarinet, and it is gorgeous. It plays so nicely. And so I was just talking to her about some of the problems I've been having with mine, and she's like, hey, do you want to try mine, just to like prove it's not you, because some problems it could just be you being a bad player. And so I was like, yeah, sure, let me go and get my I'll get mine, you can try mine as well, just to see if it's me being a bad player. So no, we'll take our mouthpieces off for hygiene reasons, so I'm playing with my own stuff, and for control. And her clarinet was so much easier to play, and I had the same reed in it and everything. I was like, damn. And she's like, yeah, sometimes you do get what you pay for. And she is 100% right when it comes to instruments. Like, you really do get what you pay for, because if most cheaper instruments, they're just not as good, and there's a reason they're cheaper. Just remember that every time there's a cheap instrument, there is a reason they are cheap, because they either don't last as long, they're not tuned very well, like the resonance doesn't. Can you shut up, please? That person outside is singing. Don't know if you can hear that, I really hope not. It's very annoying. Terrible. And you do what you pay for, because when you get to that sort of night, when you get if you're paying £900 for a clarinet, there's a reason it's £900, because hers is made of real wood, and selecting decent quality wood is expensive, because we all know that wood takes a very long time to grow. So if you're going to use the finest quality stuff to make instruments, it's going to be good, and it's going to take a long time, many years for that type of wood to grow. So that puts the price up. Then you've got to realise that these are usually handmade, because they're specialist items, so they'll have to measure everything, so you have to pay the people that are doing this. It's not all factory, it's not all like robots doing this shit. And you've got to think to the precision. They are making these instruments, they've got to be perfect, and they've got to be consistent with natural elements, which are not consistent usually. And so they've got to measure everything correctly, make sure the holes, and if they fuck it up, you can't use it, it's ruined. It's wood, you can't repair the wood like that if you drilled it in the wrong bit. So that costs money to get all this precision stuff and get the people that are trained how to do this. So yeah, that's why, because obviously with plastic you can mould that, you can perfect that every time, but the lovely tone of real wood isn't there. It still sounds pretty good, it's not going to be the same level. So if I had that sort of money to spend, I would definitely be getting the Buffet, was it R13? I think that's the one, or is that more expensive? I don't know. I think that's the one that's like 1,000. Yeah, I'm going to save up for that one day. When I have a job and I'm not worrying about rent or food, yeah, I would love to save up for a computer and a clarinet, or even a drum kit. Oh my god, no. I haven't got the room for a drum kit. And there's a drum kit at uni, so it's fine. But no, yeah, one day I'll get that nice clarinet, and then maybe I will sell this just so someone else starting out can enjoy, like, this isn't a beginner's clarinet as such, but it's like, I hate saying that about instruments because this is so precious to me, and saying, oh yeah, it's not that good. I feel so ungrateful saying that. At least I did buy this with my own money, so it's not like my parents got it for me and I was like, ew. No, it is still good, and the player does make the instrument, because Amy, my housemate, who is used to playing her very expensive clarinet, she really struggled with this, probably because you have to work it harder. Just like with any like art supplies as well, you have to work that material much harder to get the same result out of it. So she couldn't really play this, but because I'm so used to it, obviously I don't struggle with it. I'm seeing what I look like in the camera, just like playing it. Interesting. Yeah, when I got my piercing back in, like, was it October I got my piercing? I made a video about it anyway. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this is officially swapped to a proper ring, because before it was like, it had like, not a ball, but it was like a flat edge on the inside here, and it would wrap round, but it wasn't all the way. But no, I've actually got a proper ring in it now, which is meant for lips. And it looks so much better than what I had in. I love it. I think it looks good. I've not received any bad comments about it in person or anything, so I'm very pleased with that. I was expecting a lot of people to be like, ew, why did you do that to your face? The nose one is very unobtrusive as well. Like, that has not caused me any problems. But no, with the lip one, it's definitely out there. I don't see too many people with lip piercings. Loads of girls have nose piercings. I've noticed that, like, even in Christian Union, like, girls have nose piercings. And my good friend Alex, he does not watch these videos, he does not ASMR, but he got septum piercing, that's it. And it looks so cool. And no, I was expecting my Christian friends to be all like, wow, no, don't do that, take it out, don't wear that around us or some stuff. They've been so accepting with it, so I'm impressed. But overall, yeah, I did think about the placement of this, because if I had a piercing here, like I think it's called Medusa one is here. Or is that the Medusa? I don't know, because that's the Monroe. Is that Medusa or is that one? I don't know. If I had that there, your bottom lip, if I show you, needs to be right there. So unfortunately, that kind of piercing would not suit me. So I did think when I got this, make sure it's far out enough so when I'm playing it's not going to be touching, because that would be so uncomfortable. And this has not given me trouble while I'm playing. I've noticed after I've been playing the clarinet for a very long time, I felt the pain, and I think it's just because this lip was like pushing on the top of it, so by the end of it it's a bit sore. But it's not problematic, and it's hilarious because you can't really see it. This tooth is slightly twisted. This one faces that way slightly, and I can see how bad my teeth are on this because I can see the mark where my teeth are. For those who don't know, this is a rubber thing that clarinet and saxophone, most wind instrument people put on their mouthpieces to stop teeth marks and damaging your teeth. Because this is hard plastic, that's soft rubber, and so it's better for your teeth. I can see the indentation from this twisted tooth, so it's like, I keep getting reminded that my teeth are terrible. They're not so bad now. You can still see this jaw, this line of teeth is like slanted. My jaw is still level, I think, mostly. And when I had my braces taken off, my teeth were literally like a much steeper angle. This side was so much higher, and I was like, I cried when I had my braces taken off, just because I saw how unlevel that was. And it did affect my playing as well. It felt awful having my teeth like that. I stopped wearing my retainer, and they sort of did go back to mostly straight. I'm sorry if teeth gross you out. I'm not a fan of seeing inside people's mouths, but my mouth is clean. I do brush my teeth daily. I wish I could say twice a day, but unfortunately, I don't. That's bad. But I still brush them at least once a day, so that's fine. And to be fair, not much of it goes in your mouth. It's not like you're using all your teeth. But yeah, if you've got like particularly bad teeth, it's probably going to affect you, or you're going to cut up the inside of your mouth. So yeah, I'd highly recommend wind instruments if you've got teeth. I just feel bad for brass players, like if they get braces like the mouthpiece, because you have to put like your lips in it. I used to play trombone. I say used to, I didn't play it for that long, probably only a few months, and I was not a fan of trombone at all. It did not excite me. It was not interesting to me. I'm sorry, trombone players. It's not the instrument for me. It felt so simplistic sliding, and I know all instruments have their challenges. No. I didn't like the sound of it either, really. It didn't appeal to me very long. And I was just thinking, if people get braces and stuff, like, then you have to stop playing your instrument. That's kind of sad. But luckily, I'm not a fan of brass. I never have been, really. I'm sorry. All brass players, like trumpets as well. So I love doing this with my hair. I'm not a fan of trumpets either, that much. It completely depends how it's played, but usually I am not a fan of brass. One of my friends, when I was like 14, 15, I think she played the French horn and the euphonium. Her name was Lorna. I've lost contact with her. If she is watching, say hi. No, Lorna was a good friend of mine who came out. I was the first person she came out to as lesbian, and I wasn't the best friend about it. I was a little bit confused because I'd never seen a gay person really. Didn't really understand what she meant, and so I was like, I don't really get you. I wasn't mean to her about it necessarily. I was just not, oh wow, thanks for telling me, this is such a big thing, like talk to me about it. I was sort of like, I don't get it, because I've always known I'm asexual. I just didn't know the name for it forever. I think I probably learned that when I was like 15, 16. So all of it's weird to me. So I was like, I don't get why anybody likes anyone. I think she probably interpreted it as, you think it's unusual, you don't like it because it's gay. No. But yeah, she played the euphonium and the French horn, and so did her brother. And I remember I was speaking to her, and she was saying how much she hated the clarinet and it was awful. And I just said to her, look, I don't like the fucking euphonium or the French horn either, so the feeling's mutual. You don't have to be a dick about it. Because she was being like excessively mean about the clarinet. And I'm like, oh, great. I get you don't have to like the instrument. I don't like yours much either. So it's fine. Oh, I could make an hour and a half video just on that friend alone. There's a lot of stuff going on with her, poor thing. Yeah, I could do a video about like all the friends I've had in the past, because some of them have died, which is an interesting story. Kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a sad one. I could give like the brief details here. So I had these Japanese friends. They died in the tsunami back in like 2007, 8. I forgot. I don't know when the tsunami happened actually. This is sort of we were still speaking to them, but I was never personally in contact with the family, with my parents. It's like my mum and her mum were friends, and so I played with the daughters because they were friends, and we got on really well. And then they go home, and the tsunami happens, and my dad knows the dad as well because they work together, and he just never came back to work after the tsunami, so they just presumed he was dead, just like everybody else who didn't return. So unfortunately they are probably dead. Fantastic. But no, I've had quite a few strange friends. I should probably make a video on that as well. So feel free to leave any comments, suggestions, how you felt about this video. Like, maybe you don't like my ramble videos, that's completely fine. Maybe just say what you would prefer in future. I will try best to accommodate any suggestions that people have. Nothing too strange, please, and nothing that costs like ridiculous amounts of money. So yeah, if there's any topics you want me to talk about or want my opinions on, I'd be more than happy to make a video on pretty much almost any subjects. I'm quite comfortable talking about a lot of things, so feel free to ask me about music, asexuality, what university life is like, anything like that would be fantastic. Animals, I love talking about animals all the time. Books, something science as well would be cool. I don't know if I could ramble about science. I probably could ramble about anything, to be fair, but with the science, I definitely want to not be spreading false things about that. I want to be informative within the science community and all that, so I would not want to make a really annoying video full of inaccuracy, so maybe not the best video for me to make. But yeah, I love making videos. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm extremely energetic right now, but videos help me contain that better, whilst also giving me a platform to obviously try and help relax people as best as I can. At this current time I have 68 subscribers, which to some people is probably not a lot. To me it feels like a lot. It's like I've got a small audience. I don't know how many of those people are like active members that like watch my videos, but I've made a good friend out of it, Hermie ASMR. He is awesome, go check out his videos, and he has been a good friend of mine since a few live streams I did. I remember I was in my dorm room like this, it's a different one over there, and I was like, no one had ever commented on my videos like that, and so I was like, oh, this is so cool, I've actually got like a fan. And so I checked out his videos, and he's an amazing artist as well, and yeah, so we're friends. Yeah, and he's got like quite a lot of subscribers as well. It's really cool. Yeah, I've not had any like high profile people watch my videos except Minx Laura. She watched my a few years ago. I say a few years ago, this is like only like 2 years ago. I made a Barbie video. And now everyone's gonna be laughing at me, like seeing the emo kid play with Barbie dolls. But I've always loved dolls. I can't explain it. I fucking love dolls. And I just made a video of brushing their hair for like an hour and showing them off, because I collect like the posable expensive edition ones, like they're £16 a pop, and they're very detailed. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of them. Even though I'm not extremely feminine, I'm definitely leaning more towards the masculine side. I love dolls. And Minx Laura 123 actually commented on that video, and that really made my day, because she was like, oh yeah, I love the video, because she's into doll stuff and makeup and hairbrushing stuff as well. So it was so cool having like a high profile YouTuber comment on my video like that. Just honestly, the comments really make my day, even if they're constructive criticism. Like, I actually did get constructive criticism on my emo video. Someone saying, I forgot what the exact comment was, but to the extent of the title basically isn't correct, because why would they be your friend if they're being rude to you? And I was like, yeah, maybe you're right, what would you change it to? And they're like, I don't know, something. And I'm like, yeah, technically you're right, but you can still have a friend who's a bit rude, like just a bit pretentious, and that was kind of the point of the character. And it was the first roleplay I ever did, so I wasn't sure how that was going to be received, just because I personally love role plays, but I'm not always the best at them yet, just because I've not done them before. I've gotten into the routine of rambling like I have for the last hour and 12 minutes. God, I hope you're not that bored, or you're asleep by now, but I enjoy talking, evidently. It's a skill, I guess. There's been no props for this, as in there's been no cue to talk about anything in particular except the clarinet, because that's what I have in front of me. And this is the video that's come out of that, so I think that's very impressive, actually. I'm happy with this. The video quality and the audio is so bad, I'm sorry, but I probably should wrap up this video just because it's getting late. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I've rambled way too long. It's a good time to go to sleep for everybody except me, because I stay up till 5-6 in the morning at the moment. Terrible. I'll try to upload this video the same day, because it's only like 10 o'clock at night right now, and it's the 19th of the 3rd, and I will probably upload this video as soon as I finish it. So thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed listening to me talk about music and clarinet. Let me know what you want, and I will try my best. Signing off now. Okay, bye everyone. Bye. Good night.